Yeah, it goes everybody because we'll continue on with a game called Jikoronpa, Laments of Isolation. Here we go. These dreams are starting to creep me out. As I tried to make sense of my dream, I became aware of the loud noises that had awoken me in the first place. A series of firm, almost rhythmic knocks. I better get up. I dragged myself out of bed. Part of me wanted to sink forever into the covers and never come out again. But I wouldn't show anyone that side of me. I stared at the clock above my desk. Huh? It's 5 in the morning. Who would want to see me at this hour? Fuyuka, maybe? I wouldn't put it past her. She does seem like the type to wake up early. She probably does morning exercises or training or something. I opened the door. Like I predicted, Fuyuka was standing there. Finally, it takes you a long time to get up, doesn't it? I guess so. I'm nothing like you. I always feel tired. Right, we'll need to improve on that then. For now, however, I require your assistance. Huh? You need help? My help? Yeah, I require you to help me search the new rooms, like all of us did last time. The rooms were too busy yesterday to properly investigate, but I can at least confirm nobody took any items out. Early morning may be our only chance to search through each room to a thorough extent. I think I understand. I won't be too helpful considering how early it is, but I'll try my best. I need your best, but I'll take responsibility for any mistakes you may make. Understand? Do not worry. You're useless when you worry like that. Understood. I didn't have it in me to respond or argue. Fatigue can do that to you. The two of us took the elevator up to the second floor. We stepped into the main room. Hey, why me? Why do you want me to investigate with you, out of everyone here? Iki's more experienced, Kazuki has an eye for detail, Mao's far stronger. I don't understand. Wouldn't they be more helpful? I told you that you can depend on me. I meant it. You can't do anything on your own with any information you find. Your traits make any malevolent actions unlikely. So you'll bring any detail you find or information you gain to my attention, won't you? I have faith in you. You trust me like that? For somebody as self-assured as her to believe in me, it seems unreal. Yes, and you can trust me in return. Let's start searching these rooms then. Good. The room I'm most curious about is the storage room. Have you been in there yet? No, not yet. Alright, a fresh set of eyes will help. When we investigate, you'll be the one pointing to what stands out. I, for one, may notice much more than the usual person might, such as the potential uses for a particular item for a murder. However, a typical person like yourself may have less ability in that regard. It allows me to hypothesize and predict what items may be used in a murder. For example, let's say a screwdriver. What comes to mind with that? I'd rather not theorize about potential murder, but if I have to, I guess somebody can use it to fix something? I'm not sure. That's one possibility, yeah. However, the tool can also be used to do the exact opposite. You can force yourself into a locked room, or tamper with the light switch, and lure the victim to touch the exposed wires, or... Yeah, I get it. No need to describe anything else. Sorry, I forgot that not everybody's enthused by these topics. I am. I'm enthused by these topics. Talk more, please. Enthused? How could you possibly be happy with this? The deaths of our... Not our real situation, obviously. Don't be a fool. I meant infection. Oh. I don't often like to talk about myself much, but I suppose this isn't the worst fact for you to know. As a child, I love fictional mysteries, or more specifically, those which involve creative methods and murders. That makes sense. I guess it was kinda dumb of me to assume someone felt sadistic about our suffering. Don't make such reckless assumptions again. Anyways, let's begin investigating. Remember, point out what stands out to you only. We can continue after you think you can't see anything else noteworthy. Alright, got it. The two of us walked across the hall and into the storage room. As Fuyuka said, I immediately tried to point out what stood out to me. Well, yeah, spears, obviously. There are some spears in the box near the front of the shelves. Yeah, these look really sharp. Of course they are. Haven't you seen spears before? Yeah, there was the thing that shot at, what's his name? Daisaku, right? No, actually, not besides the one that hit, Alright, the average person don't see weapons like this often. What kind of life do you have back home? One you don't want to know about. If I told you anything about it, you'd freak out. You'd be unable to speak for days straight. I won't ask then. Anyways, the spears are sharp, but they're quite heavy. If anybody wanted to use one, they'd have to kill the victim here. They're also similar to the spear that hit Daisaku, like you said. It's possible one of these spears even hit him. One of those spears? Exactly. Never mind, let's move on. What should we investigate? The high shelves. Bro, put down that blunt. What first caught my attention as I stared at the higher shelves were bottles of something with large red X drawn on them. These bottles of poison or something? Unfortunately, yeah, they're not very subtle either. I'm not sure what type of chemical they are, and I wouldn't exactly like to test that. All I know is that they don't have a deadly effect on a person just by smelling them. As for temporary effects such as dizziness, I'm not sure yet. You smelled them? Yes, I couldn't risk tasting them, unfortunately, but at least I was able to confirm that much. You scare me. How so? You really don't have a sense of danger. I do, it's just triggered by different things. Right. Besides that, I see some rope and some tools. Way more tools than just a toolbox in the backstage area. But thankfully no hammers. At least blunt force trauma is usually instant. The other weapons here are sharp. The victims will likely bleed out in a few minutes, rather than die instantly. Maybe I should test the rope, though. Does it have enough durability to crush somebody's neck and make them unable to breathe? Really no sense of danger there. Let's see. The low shelves. High-low. The lower shelves were filled with rows and rows of miscellaneous objects. I poked some of them out of instinct, but the sharpest of the screwdriver pushed me back. Ow! Dang it! I get the scissors and the knives, I really do, but why did Dia have to make these screwdrivers so sharp? Screwdrivers and crowbars like that are incredibly inefficient. They're meant to be sturdy tools, but such sharp ends can break off easily. That is actually true. I'm thankful we have the toolbox back in the backstage area, but it's still a problem. Let's hope Dia is capable of being a handyman as well. That really isn't the point. Boxes. I noticed the closed boxes laying on the ground and opened several of them. I wasn't concerned after opening one or even two of them, but after opening them all. Buckets, string, arrows, electrical cords, lighters. Dia really thought of everything, haven't they? Aren't these kind of things meant for traps? They have. I'm curious as to what potential traps our killers here will make. Will somebody make an arrow shoot off from somewhere where the string is triggered? Will they use the buckets to distract their target somehow, or pour a deadly chemical on their victim? Or will they make an elaborate mechanism that's triggered by something only they know of, making them completely uncatchable? I really doubt something here is smart enough to make something like that, so we should keep our minds open to the possibility. Right, let's move on. Let's see, blankets. You can choke on them. I knelt down next to some blankets hidden in the corner of a shelf. They were extremely soft, like the feeling of an animal's fur. This looks like the one thing here that can be used as a weapon. I could say otherwise, but I won't. Thank you? I wouldn't want to know what kind of murder plans include a soft blanket. Fuyuka's creativity scares me sometimes. Ladder. I look at the ladder hidden in between some shelves. Some shelves go up pretty high. I don't know whether a ladder is a blessing or a curse. On one hand, ladders are generally useful, but when the items are dangerous objects or lethal weapons, maybe we should sabotage the ladder to make sure it's not used at all. Somebody's been watching TLC, WWE, table starters and chairs matches. Awesome though. Oh really, I didn't think of that. It should be easy enough. Let me think. Wait, not really. It would count as damaging something of Diaz. I don't know if accidents count, but if it's purposeful, you could get punished. I don't want that to happen to you, Fuyuka. I see. I looked around the room, but nothing else seemed notable. I think that might be it. With the number of dangerous supplies in that room, it's a good idea to keep track of what stays and goes. While you were searching the room, I estimated the quantity of each item stored here. I'll make a list of each of them, its current amount and its location. This will be updated every morning, noon, and evening. Well, at least you got something to do to pass the time. Huh? That sounds like a lot of work. Are you sure you want to do all of that? I'm sure if something happened, it'd be useful to pinpoint what items were used and then when they were taken. If we're lucky enough, we might be able to draw some conclusions from that information. She must be talking about another murder. I don't want to think about it, but I can't deny that it's possible. I understand. Thank you for all you do for our group, Fuyuka. I appreciate the care you put into these things. It inspires me, in a way. It's nothing. Let's move on. Without another word, Fuyuka took my hand and led me away. Huh? Before I knew it, we ended up in the art room. Take the lead again. I will. So you investigate. Closet. I opened the door in the art room. It looked to be a large closet. You seem to have extra canvases, containers of paint, lots of drawers, and even more. Lots of random supplies in here. It's odd. Dia sure has a lot of random storage areas and closets here. If this were a real mansion, it'd be pretty appealing for all the storage space. It is a real mansion though. I meant like a mansion to live normally, not this. Well, people lived in it normally at some point. The messes here, the random objects scattered about, and even more point to that. It makes me think that the previous owners possibly weren't involved in this whole process. They might have been kidnapped, their property stolen. If they were, why is everything not in place? Why wouldn't they clean the items, even for the sake of us? Why make sure no dust is left, but still keep miscellaneous objects here? It's almost as if DA is taunting us about the face of those who lived here. Do you think something bad happened to them? Can't say for sure, but I believe so. Oh no. Whatever happened, it doesn't matter now. Let's resume. Okay. Shelf. I look at the shelf. I was reminded of some arts and crafts projects I did as a kid. A bunch of white papers but no colored ones. That's a bit disappointing. What if I want to make a flower arts and crafts project? But as for the paint, so many colors. This would be perfect for a nature painting. Just imagine how many different flowers I could paint. She's so fucking adorable. Look at that. You're a little bit of a nerd, aren't you? Well, of course I am. Flowers are beautiful, wonderful. Nothing can top them. Flowers are the greatest thing in existence. Maybe a little bit more than a nerd. It sounds like a bit of an obsession almost. Let's see. Blank canvases. I stared at the easels, holding up some blank canvases. The canvases were half my height, perhaps even taller. I wonder if anybody will use these a lot. I know Iki used them a bit, but I don't know if any of us are serious enough about art to use the entire canvas. Art, huh? I haven't done that in a while, but I'm hardly skilled. I can only draw women. You can only what? I've painted before. I only painted women, or feminine people. It just reminded me of that. I've hardly drawn men. If I were to draw any men, they'd look incredibly feminine. Artist struggle, I assume. Artist struggles. I cannot relate at all. I'm no artist. I'm just some random guy on the internet. The counter had a bunch of stains, cups, and paintbrushes laying about. The presence of a sink doesn't help with the mess that's already there. More proof of people living here. A messy counter. Maybe some kids used it before, or somebody really serious about art. But Dia couldn't even have the decency to clean it. Don't assume they're decent to any extent at all. Right. Whiteboard. A blank whiteboard. Unlike the one in the technology room, I guess there's nothing important for them to stay here. Something I assume they write here is, "Don't draw bad or I'll punish you." Most of us would immediately be met with a cruel death. Are you saying you expect me to draw badly? Yeah. Oh, how blunt. I looked around the room, but nothing else seemed notable. I think that might be it. I see. I have a question for you, actually. I heard about a daily poetry meeting in passing, I believe. I wasn't able to learn many details, but I'd like to know more. Do you know anything about it? Oh, I'm part of it. A few others are too. I know you might think it's wasteful, but I wanted to have something to clear my mind every morning, you know? Better to write poetry than sulking away. I don't see a point in such meetings, but you managed to find a different perspective. It's admirable. Oh, thank you. I did not expect a compliment like that from Fuyuka of all people. Oh, wait. I forgot to write a poem for today's meeting. Be right back. I ran to a corner of the art room, grabbing a nearby pen and paper to get to work. My time with Fuyuka gave me some inspiration for writing. I managed to finish something that I was semi-satisfied with in a few minutes. Okay, done. Phew, that was close. After that small stop, the two of us headed to the last room on Fuyuka's list, the library. I started looking around. What should I investigate? Let's go top to bottom. No, let's go. Yeah. I jumped at the side of the globe. I put my hand on it and spun it around. It went so fast. Spinny, spinny, spinny. I love these globes. I wish every classroom of mine had these. Even as a kid, I always loved playing with them. Yeah, me too. Imagine if I could control the world with one of these. Everybody would be really dizzy, that's for sure. Everyone would fucking die. Your inner child hasn't died. That's a certainty. Come on, don't you like to see it spin too? Spin it with me. Spinny, spinny, spinning. I guess. Spinny, spinny, spinning. Bookshelves. So many books. They don't even seem to be organized by genre. They're organized by color? By every shade of color. A book that seems to be for toddlers, a murder mystery, and autobiography right next to each other? Really? I know you expect me to investigate, but once again, the sheer number of these books makes it impossible. And just look at these books. Death Note? I mean, what kind of foreboding book is that? Is it an actual notebook or just some weird title for a story? Both. I might have to take one for myself. Eh? Lamps. I touched the lamp, turning it on and off a few times. It wasn't very bright. Then again, I'm not that bright either. Battery-powered lamps. I wonder if they'll ever run out of juice. Even if they did, I really doubt Dia would let us notice. Just like with his body, everything will return to exactly where it was. Exactly where it was. It's odd, even when I move things one day and check the next day, they're moved back. However, any messes from the beginning are kept. That is odd. What does it mean? Dia wants to keep things exactly as they left it. That's all I can know for now. I'll let you know if I make any more discoveries about it. Okay. Lone book. I moved to the back of the room, taken in by the strange sight. The single book, out on a table in the back of the room, is as if it's calling us to look at it. I opened the book. It's not even a book. It's one of those fake books that's actually a box. Looks pretty convincing from afar. But it makes me wonder what the purpose of it is. Is it just Dia messing with us, or does it have some other meaning? With Dia, I don't think we'll ever really know. I looked around the room, but nothing else seemed notable. I think that might be it. I see. I'll take some time in the next few days to examine every book. Besides that, we're done with our investigations for this floor. Let's head out. I've done everything I can for now. Alright, Shinosuke, Ike, and Tsubaki might be on their way here already though. Be prepared to run into them. Right. We headed towards the elevator, hoping to get back to the first floor, but the doors opened before we could press a button. Hey, it's you. You're earlier than I anticipated. And Fuyuka too. Little odd to see you with the shorty here so early in the morning. Any reason? Huh? Hikari was talking to me about the poetry meetings. I was wary of them, but she convinced me that such meetings were worthwhile and presented no danger to anybody. Oh, nice. Good job, Hikari. Didn't know somebody like you could be persuasive like that. You should give her more credit. I need to take my leave now. Goodbye. Fuyuka rushed into the elevator. After a bit of awkward silence between Tsubaki and I, we decided to head into the art room and wait. Before long, Shinosuke and Iki showed up, and we started our meeting. Shinosuke went after me, and Ike went after him. Tsubaki was the last to share. I started reading her poem. Switch font. There you go. Nice. Win and win and win. Win and win and win. Win and win and win. But to win is to lose. Huh. Dark and bloody, dark and bloody, dark and bloody, dark and bloody, dark and bloody. Tile, put a pawn on everyone to think you're a rook, not bishop, king, queen, bishop, not a rook. It's just self-deception in this repeating game. Oh, so that's why you repeat the same words over and over again. Huh, okay, that makes sense. Done. There it is, give your thoughts. I'm ready for any of them. This poem is chess themed, yes? With the different pieces named and the potential pattern of red and black tiles. Bingo. I see, it is very creative. The formatting does benefit it well. And the imaginative way to express the colors of the board adds to the more violent twist of it. I agree it's creative, and I wish I could find a way to incorporate your unique formatting in my poetry someday. Damn, the pile of goo in my head is here wondering how many hand cramps it took to write tiles so many times. I'm not at all that experienced at writing poetry, so yeah, my hands die while writing it. I can relate. When I first started writing a few years ago, it took a while to not have my hands hurt after writing for a long time. Guess you're more experienced than both of us, Kihara. Creativity and intellect are a deadly duo in the hands of the wrong person, huh? Are you saying Ike is going to come up with a wild villain plan or something? Do I come off as dastardly at all? I swear I'm not planning anything. Nah, I'd be the type to be secretive and plan something. Don't I have the best cool and mysterious vibe amongst us all? Yep, you are. You definitely have something like that. Now I'm curious about you. Good luck in finding out. It's like I've been through a million lifetimes, so who knows when I'm telling the truth. The four of us took more time to discuss everything, laughing and joking as we did so. After we were all done, we went our separate ways. I returned to my room. I should have some free time for a while. What should I do? Hang out with the others. Want to spend time with them? Sure. Oh my, didn't expect somebody like you to want to spend some time with me. Sanosuke told me about many different flower-related nickname ideas he had. I'm thankful that he doesn't know much about flowers. I think Sanosuke and I have gotten a little closer today. Oh wow, what's a little old flower doing here in the shade? In the shade, there's a misconception actually. The majority of flowers do better in direct sunlight. There are a few varieties that still do well in the shade. For example, a fuchsia can actually do worse when in direct heat and sunlight, and requires a good amount of shade to thrive well. As you know, I've killed more than a few of those flowers. I had to hold so many little flower funerals that year. Yikes, from the miserable funerals I've had for my little pet bugs to your flower funerals. The name funeral made me inaccurate. Besides all that, like the flower facts, sunflower, but I meant it more metaphorically, you know, considering you're talking to me and all. Alright, I totally knew that. I was just messing with you, yeah. But you say you're in the shade, why? If you saw how all the gears in this mind of mine turn, you'd be agreeing that it's a little dark in there. Oh, maybe that's why I got in trouble for playing with lighters and matches when I was a kid. I needed some kind of light. I don't understand. Dark as in empty or... Dark as in... synonyms. Gloomy, moody, dreary. I don't know, whatever you think fits best. Never picked up a dictionary in my life, Rosebud. You shouldn't be asking me about all of that. If I were empty, I'd be a zombie. Do I look like I want to eat your brain? I'm partially afraid to answer. I feel like whatever I'd answer, you'd somehow pretend to be a zombie and scare me to death, then make a pun over my corpse. Considering how terrified I am of zombie movies, that wouldn't be good for me. Oh darn, you don't want to be part of my awesome quiz show Sanosuke of the Dead? I absolutely love quiz shows, so it's a shame you'd refuse. Why talk to me to begin with if you didn't want to know any of that? Well, I wanted to talk to you and get to know you, that's all I guess. I love quiz shows too, but I don't think I'd want to be any that would put my life at risk. That's awfully suspicious of you, little flower bud. You sure aren't planning to lure me into a trap and take my life away? No, why would I do that? I mean, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for me to be led into a trap like that. Arrows, knives, spears, bombs, fire, so many ways to end up down below, you know? You're joking about that, right? About being caught in so many traps? If anything, all of that can be possible in a role-playing game or something. Then again, I wouldn't know much about that. I've always been a little interested in them, but nobody wanted to play with me. Nope, I'm no stranger to such wonderful little traps. In my journey as a journalist, I've made quite a few enemies. I'm surprised my head isn't on a stick by now, actually. But why be so casual about it? If so many people are actively wanting to kill you, then wouldn't you be more scared? I mean, no, even before the whole journalist thing, my life was threatened quite a few times. At least being a journalist and getting into places I'm not supposed to be at least gave them a valid reason to be after me. I'm sorry, Sanosuke. Whoa, why sorry? Was I right about you planning to lure me into a trap, Cherry Blossom? No, I just meant that I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Yeah, what can you do? Besides, it's fun. It gives me a little rush of adrenaline every day. But I'm sure a pretty little cherry blossom like you didn't want to get to know about me in the how many ways did I almost die way. So, what did you actually want to ask me? Nothing in particular. I was wondering about your journalism a bit. I've written a few informative things for school, especially about nature and flowers, but nothing more, so I'm curious. Oh, I see. What about it? The daring expeditions? The near-death experiences? The corpses I've seen? None of that. I meant your articles. I don't read the news much or take much interest in journalism. So besides articles about plants and nature, I'm not at all too sure what else is there. Oh, I get you. You want to know more about my handy-dandy writing? Well, my article focuses on corrupt individuals and organizations, you know. A politician abusing their power, a celebrity potentially harming another person, an organization taking advantage of minorities. I despise all of those things a ton, so I did what I could to knock it all out of sight. And I'm pretty good at it, if I do say so myself. I've gotten a few people arrested and exposed for their crimes. That sounds like a thing a good person would do. Wow, harsh with the criticism, I see. You saying I'm not a good person? I didn't mean it like that. I meant more that your attitude contrasts what you do a lot. But your jokes about death and casual demeanor about these kinds of topics, it almost seems a little odd for you to take journalism seriously. Yeah, I understand. I kinda get that a lot, honestly. But if you saw me when I first started, wow, you'll be eating your words. When you first started? Yep, I was entering middle school. I was angry at the world and was determined to be a harbinger of justice. Harbinger? I took everything way too seriously. I refused to do anything that would make me like them. Like who? Like criminals, you know? I despised and hated any kind of crime so much that I swore to myself that I would bring justice into the world. But I was naive. My contacts were untrustworthy. I got put into the hospital for months on end at certain points and more. To get further into the field, you can't really avoid being a little bit untrustworthy yourself. And for the truth of everything, let's say I had to get used to the whole concept of death and decay pretty quick. I see. What kind of things did you see? Minus the gruesome details, of course. A bunch of stuff gets my mood down thinking about it. Let's say you're pretty lucky compared to your average person, even in the death game. It's that bad? Yep, journalism ain't for the faint of heart. But I mean, that's my type of journalism. There are plenty of types, though I'm not too familiar with them myself besides the basics. I'm sure you can find something that suits your fancy, Cherry Blossom. There's journalism that focuses on sports, some focus on philosophical or moral debates, some talk about new shows or games. And hey, there's even a little nifty subgenre of nature journalism you mentioned before. I see. Why so disappointed? Were you secretly hoping to get some sneak peeks of the life of a journalist like me? No, or well, it's a bit embarrassing, honestly. Embarrassing? Maybe you should tell me then. I'll be sure to torture you until you spill your every little secret, flower bud. Remind me not to vent to you about anything personal. But it's pretty obvious how into flowers I am, right? Yep, why do you think all of your nicknames are flower-based? Right, it's obvious, but for the longest time, gardening was the only hobby I've felt sure of myself in. And sometimes I like something new, I guess. Something to branch out of that, but still stay comfortable. Whoa, the little sunflower doesn't want to be a sunflower anymore? It's not that I want to quit gardening completely, I still love it. It's just that somewhat recently, though I can't recall exactly when the interest started, I got really interested in nature photography and journalism. I actually can't recall exactly when. I remember the exact date that blog showing off Daisaku's photos were published. Oh. But like hell, I'll give this guy another reason to tease me. Every so often, I started practicing a bit of it on my own, but never really got confident in it at all. So I was wondering more so about how you got the confidence to go into journalism, the inspiration to really persist and thrive through it. So that's your ulterior motive, right? It's not an ulterior motive, You initially said you wanted to get to know me. That was a lie, at least partially. In reality, you wanted advice on a career path. I'm sorry, Sanosuke. I didn't mean to be so selfish, all of you. Kidding. Damn, what a tough audience. But that's an interesting little dilemma. It'd be fun to answer. My lack of confidence is an interesting dilemma? Yep, indeed it is, Cherry Blossom. I mean, compared to the usual broken bones and pools of blood, this is an interesting conflict I'm facing. I see. Does that mean you'll help me gain a little more confidence? If you're ready for a fight to the death, then yes. Is that a joke or is that what you're actually planning? It's a surprise. Great. Sanosuke made a few more jokes at my expense. The two of us soon left one another afterwards. Soon I headed back to my room. After passing the time, I thought about what to do. The investigation with Fuyuka earlier, did I do all I could? Fuyuka is going to take inventory of the rooms, check all the library books, and even more. I feel bad letting her do all that work on her own. I can at least look at some of the library books, right? I don't have anything else to do, so I might as well be helpful. Yeah, I'll do that. I rushed out of my room into the second floor. I stepped into the library, but yeah, somebody was trying to hide behind some shelves. Mount, what are you doing? Mount grabbed my hand and pulled me close to her. What is... She might find us. She? What are you talking about? I was about to ask, but the answer interrupted me. Boo! Yeah. Mount stood up, throwing any and all insults she could think of towards Colette. And she did so. Colette started laughing. It scares me how many swears she can spit out in a second. Give me a... Damn it, Jorky, you got me caught. Now this fucking laughing stocks started laughing back. Huh? I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I did something. But before they could respond, two more people rushed up to us. I heard screaming. Is everyone alright? Are there any injuries? Judging from the ensemble of people, I'm assuming a prank took place. Hikari and Maun were likely the victims. Oh, what a correct judgment, Maun. Being the foolish mortal she is, thought I couldn't catch her in a demonic game of hide or scare. Hide or scare? Don't you mean hide or seek? Gasp! You don't know of the most devilish recreational practice within these realms? Such a lack of knowledge must be remedied. Hide or scare is a game I used to play with my awesome gang back home. Step 2, half of the group hides away in dark costumes that camouflage well. Step 3, the scarers find the poor victims and terrify them to death. I'm glad the scream wasn't anything serious. If anything had happened, I would be devastated. You should be devastated. The greatest fucking person here lost the game. That game is ridiculous. It sounds like an invite to somebody calling the police more than anything. Why waste your time playing here? It's clear our environment isn't suitable for those games of yours. Wait, I see your point, Kazuyuki, but as long as you don't cause trouble, we should let them have fun. About that trouble. Sorry about that, Petals. We'll have to find a better area to actually play it. Fuck that. We should do whatever the hell we want. Their opinions don't fucking matter. I mean, I know my guy can usually play it wherever. The town officials permitted it. But this place is way different, Cherry. Town officials permitting it? I doubt that. I find it more likely you forged some kind of permission document instead. You seem to be the type to have a false life like that. Really, shithead? I can back her up. Don't treat her like a fucking criminal. It took a bit to remember at first, but the little freak and I ran into each other before the death game one time. Yep, Cherry here was biking around my town and became a wonderful victim of my gang's horrific pranks. I didn't recognize her until I heard her screams of terror. Ah, what a wonderful sound. Don't tell him that, you shithead. I'm scared to know what kind of Colette's pranks is like when she's back home. I'm kind of imagining a haunted house or a huge animatronic or something. Haunted house? What animatronic? Wait until you see our mansion, full of lively animatronics, Petals. Yeah, I take that back. You little shithead, don't lie. You didn't have a mansion, dumbass. Or did I? There's no way in hell you did, right? Or did I? Oh my fucking god, you little. Maun and Colette started arguing, or well, more like Colette teasing Maun while she pummeled her back in an array of insults. How about we talk elsewhere? I'm not against the idea. Yes, please, I beg of you, get me out of this. The three of us wandered deeper into the library until we found a table to sit at. How did you get caught in their chaos to begin with, Hikari? Judging by your confusion about our game, I'm assuming you weren't willingly part of it. Oh, I was going to look for some books to read, but Mom was hiding near the entrance. Colette ended up finding her after hearing us. That makes sense. They probably started a game after we were already here. If we entered afterwards, they would have forced us into it, like they did to you. That's one unfortunate circumstance for us, at least. I should be thankful. Still, I don't understand why they insist on these pranks, or games, or whatever else. Why waste time with those useless things when the next motive of murder will inevitably tear any friendship apart? It's impossible to understand, especially when they already insult and argue with one another non-stop. That's a bit strange. How so? Aren't you hanging out with Iki right now? Why spend time with them if it's inevitable that you'll be torn apart anyway? It's not the same thing. I'm not hanging out with him. Iki's presence is beneficial for my personal tasks. They are the only tolerable one here, with a substantial amount of rationality and logic. Huh? But I enjoy every one of your stories that you tell, and everything you inform me of. I'm sure that may count toward a friendship of some kind. If you view it that way, then fine, as long as it doesn't affect our current engagements. Not to worry, I will always do my best to respect your boundaries. Now I'm curious, what kind of stories? The horror kind Colette would tell? Personal anecdotes, or something else? I suppose the stories I tell are supernatural or fantastical, though not in a horrific way like somebody here. I tend to focus on stories that inspire awe. Oh, like dragons, some yokai, maybe some adventurous heroes. The second one, yokai interested my younger sister extensively, though only the good-natured ones. I had a small interest in them as well. Their varied portrayals and stories have brought me inspiration at times. Indeed, he told me stories he knows about several prophetic yokai. It's so intriguing to hear more about them. Prophetic yokai? Yes, one example could be Kudan, is that how you pronounce it? They are creatures born with a mixture of human and cow features. It's said that they only live for a few days and only live long enough to give us a prophecy. It is usually about some kind of major misfortune. I wonder if a Kudan could have warned us about our situation. I doubt we would have believed in any case. A creature telling us we were going to be forced into a mansion for poetry and murder? I wouldn't have given such ridiculousness any of my time. Oh shit, I have to stop it here, fellas. Where is it? There you go. There you are. So yeah, this is a Jikoronpa Laments of and I gotta prepare for it. So far so good. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.